I'm hoping that this video will reach the people out there who are struggling with self-confidence and self-esteem issues. People out there who've been wronged and who have been faced with injustice far too many times by the people around them, who genuinely don't understand what their line of thoughts is, what their beliefs are, and they just start judging without any kind of good reason to. Those are the same people who go out there and they preach equality and tolerance and love and whatever the fuck else. Those are the same people that go out there and they post all this stupid shit on Instagram and on TikTok and shit, and they just tell everybody to just love themselves and love everyone around you and be tolerant. Be a good human being, but there's the same people who are judgmental as shit and who make people like us, who are genuinely trying to become more masculine and become stronger individuals for our families, for ourselves, for our families, for my family right now who's sleeping because they've been working an entire day, my family who's tired, for them I'm doing this. And so a lot of people out there don't understand this, and a lot of people out there just will never understand this because they've lived their entire lives just consumed by the media, consumed by all this senseless propaganda that they put out on the TV, on the phones, everywhere. On any kind of technology that has Wi-Fi on it, you'll see it. And to some extent, I can't really blame those people, since it is quite difficult to be able to go back and to retreat away from that kind of addiction, to that kind of brainwashing, because it's been so globally put out. It just doesn't, I feel like it's not going to be fixed anytime soon. And so we have to learn to just stop caring about what those people think about us. We need to stop letting those opinions get to us. And I've learned this the hard way. I've come to this conclusion the hard way myself, because I've been far too many times I was just affected by what those people had to say, and I was far too many times I was just put to the ground and I was destroyed, both mentally and sometimes, I felt some side effects physically. I felt the consequences of those things even on a physical side. I felt tired, I felt just complacent, I didn't feel like doing anything. I felt genuinely just sapped of energy because of those people. And mentally, I'm not even gonna mention it, bro. It was my life, and it was just miserable. I had nothing to live for. I felt like I had nothing to live for. Even though I always lived with this beautiful family that I have, in this beautiful house, in this amazing place, with all the life conditions, I felt like I had nothing to live for. Because to myself, I was nothing. I didn't matter to myself, because I always kept listening to the opinions that all the other people had about me. And, this really just sent me down to the ground. It destroyed my self-confidence. It destroyed my self-esteem. And it made me the shell of the man that I truly wanted to be. It just made me the shadow of a person, this person, like this guy who could genuinely not even hold eye contact. I mean, look back on my older videos, just from like a year ago or something like that. I cannot remember the exact time, but just look back on my channel a year ago, and you'll see some videos that I made with my face. I genuinely could not even look at the camera. I genuinely, I was so self-conscious. I was so afraid of what it meant to genuinely show myself and actually talk and be honest, that I just completely disregarded that. I completely disregarded the idea of honesty. And so I just kept saying all these kind of like brain, like muscle memory phrases that I had in my mind. I just said them while just looking on the side like that, just avoiding any kind of eye contact, without just looking straight to you, because I felt like I was not worthy of talking. I felt like I was not worthy of what I was saying. But as time went on and as I've advanced my self-improvement journey, I came to the conclusion that I I am worthy for it. I mean, I've put in the work. I mean, at the point, once you put in the work, once you start genuinely putting in all this effort and you genuinely see it and you see the progress, you start genuinely naturally becoming more confident. I mean, if you don't genuinely just stand purposefully against that, a wave of confidence will wash over you at some point. And yet, as time went on, I still felt like I in school and in at a handball practice. I'm doing this sport. I'm playing handball, and I was just always put down to the ground by the other people. I was always just marginalized as this kind of bullshit kid that nobody truly wanted to be around. I was always just the kid that nobody wanted to be doing anything with. When handball, I remember, we had to do some exercises from time to time, and like these pair exercises, right? And nobody would want to pair up with me and do the exercise with me. I was genuinely, most of the time, I was the only one alone, and that's just sad. And that all happened because I was genuinely too afraid of being who I truly was. I was truly afraid of expressing myself in an authentic manner because I was afraid of what some people out there would think of me. And that's one small aspect. I mean, at the same time, I've gone through countless kind of problems in my life where I've, especially since I've started self improvement, like in this past year or so, when although I saw progress and I saw myself just slowly and surely becoming more confident in my capabilities, I was still this shy person in the real world. I was still this weird and unconfident person in real life, who genuinely had not a lot to show for himself, really. And for some reason, I just kept all those ideas of of what people thought about me in my mind, all the time. Like I genuinely based my personality about around what other people thought of me. Like how fucked is that? I based my entire personality around what some other people out there thought of me. People who I genuinely didn't even like. People who I didn't even enjoy being around. People who I didn't enjoy the company of. And I took their opinions and I took them for granted. I was like, yeah, there they are. They must be right. But I never asked myself why. Why would they be right? I mean, why would they genuinely have any reason to be right? And so for such a long time, I was scared of genuinely just, especially, yeah, again, after start of self improvement, it just felt like my thoughts were just so much different from everyone else. I mean, before I started self improvement, I felt different. I genuinely felt like I had something else that a lot of people out there just genuinely didn't, and I felt like I couldn't connect. But after self improvement started and everything, like that kind of distance just honestly expanded so much. And that's because, I built different beliefs. I mean, I had the foundation for those things before I started self improvement. And once I started like actually just growing those beliefs and nurturing them into actual personality traits, And so I just distanced myself away from a lot of people, and I was scared of saying what I truly had on my mind because I was scared of ending up in this situation again in which I was just fully against everyone else. Like I was just fully this kind of outcast of my social circle, right? And so I always just said what those people wanted to hear. I always made the stupid jokes that I genuinely did not even laugh at in my own free time. I laughed at the stupid jokes which genuinely I wouldn't give a fuck about in my free time. I became this sort of like this shell of the person I truly wanted to be. Again, I had an initial period, when that kind of dimmed down a little bit, and I started actually becoming a bit more authentic while in the summer last year, when I wasn't in school, when I wasn't doing anything. And then it all just kind of went straight to shit as I came back in school, for the next year. And I just realized that if I want to, like, have all kinds of friends and be the social butterfly that everybody wants me to be, then I have to kiss everyone in the ass. And so I subconsciously did that. I just kept doing what everyone else wanted me to do. And I kept laughing at all the jokes which genuinely were not that funny. I kept being with the people who I genuinely did not have that much respect for. And what did it lead to? just led to a life that just felt dull and not right. And I felt like the world around me genuinely just had a better understanding of me than myself. And myself being the person who genuinely spends hours every day thinking. I mean, not genuinely just sitting in an empty room and just thinking, but I'm always using my brain and I'm always trying to use it in as more of a mature way as possible. And I'm trying to always just think, always be rational about all kinds of things in my life and everything. And me being this person who genuinely thinks a bunch throughout the day, and yet I put what some people out there thought of me more important than what I genuinely thought of myself. And so I became this ass kisser that everybody somewhat liked to be around, since who doesn't like to have just somebody else kissing his ass? I mean, unless you're genuinely like a good person and you can actually tell when somebody's just trying to kiss your ass, and you just tell those people, you don't have to do that, right? You don't have to kiss my ass. It's fine, right? But when you're like this selfish fucking person who spends half the day on social media and the other half just obsessing about social media, like most people out there, like most people my age, well, yeah, you're gonna love an ass kisser around you. You're gonna love somebody just kissing your ass, because that's essentially what you're trying to get while being on social media and posting all these forward ass pictures and whatever the fuck. And just posting your, I don't know, you flexing your muscles on Instagram and shit while being at the gym or whatever. Like, people do that. And it just doesn't resonate with me at all. And for such a long time, I acted like it did. I acted like it genuinely resonated with me. And so I'm telling you right now, you don't have to be an ass kisser. You don't have to kiss everyone's ass. You don't have to kiss anyone's ass. Not even yourself. Like, not even your own. You must be fully independent, and you must be fully authentic and honest about what you are and what you want from other people. Because that's the only way you're ever going to find people who genuinely care about you. That's the only way you're going to care about yourself. Because if you just keep trying to appeal to everyone, you're never going to know who's friend and foe. You're always just going to you're going to have a bunch of people in your life just at the middle zone. They're not even friends. They're not even like foes. They're just not even polarized at all. They're just at the middle. And I feel like that's just a horrible place to be in. Especially since I've been there so many times, in all people's lives, when I desperately tried to make friends, and I just found myself being at this unpolarized level where I was not even like a foe. I was not even a friend of those people. I was just at the middle. I was like people that they kind of spend some time with, but they never genuinely give a fuck about. And it's people that they don't argue with, but it's people they don't actually laugh with. It's just people who are at the middle. And I hated that. I hate that. I'd rather just have all the people in my life, instead of just like putting them at the middle, I would rather genuinely have them either friend or foe, right? I wouldn't have them at the middle. Like, it just doesn't make sense. That's not the way that we went through our social lives 10,000 years ago. That's not the way we navigated any kind of relationship with a person. No, this person ever had to be a friend or a foe. Being at the middle was not a fucking answer. What does that mean? That means that you genuinely cannot trust this person. You don't know whether this person is gonna kill you or it's gonna have your back. This person that's the middle, they're the most dangerous, because if a person is a foe, back then it meant that they would fucking kill you. It means that they would bash your skull in. And if a person was a friend, then that means you had somebody who could watch your back, who you could have confidently said that, yeah, this person is gonna watch my back until I die. And so stop just trying to be friends with everybody. Stop trying to be well with everybody. Stop trying to avoid conflict. There's a lot of people out there who genuinely try to act always agreeable and always just be pleasant around everybody because they're scared of conflict. Because they have such a low self-confidence and self-esteem that they're scared of standing up for their own selves. And so they'd rather just be pleasant with everyone and rather keep everyone at this middle gray zone where they're not polarized into friend or foe. They're just at the middle and they have nothing to show for. They have nothing for themselves. They're just at the middle for everyone. I don't want that for you. You must know, you must start making your priorities straight. Just like you have your priorities set straight, considering what you want to do throughout the day. So when you're on self-improvement and you're thinking about what you're going to do throughout the day, you're not going to think, okay, I'm going to play video games. No, that's like genuinely the thing that you're not going to do. That's like you've polarized all the habits that you've done or that you do throughout the day, right? You polarize them into good or bad. Mediocre does not exist. I mean, for some people it does, and that's just a horrible existence. But you either do the bad habits, which is playing video games, masturbating, watching a bunch of Netflix, wasting your time, eating a bunch of junk food, doing all those things. They're the bad habits, right? And you also have the complete opposites, complete polar opposites, which is the good habits, which is reading, meditating, exercising, writing, creating something out of nothing, building something for yourself. Those are the good habits. And so the same should be done in your life. The same should be done in every aspect of your life, in every aspect of especially in your social life. Because we're not, as human beings, we are genuinely biologically incapable of living like this, of living in the gray zone at the middle. We need to know who's friend and we need to know who's foe. We need to know who those people are. We need to understand what they mean for us. Because we genuinely cannot live at this gray zone where everybody can either be a friend or a foe, because our mind will go crazy. Because that's when genuinely you just have this middle zone. That's when your mind just starts being insecure. That's when your anxieties pop up and about what some other people think of you. That's how it starts. Because you don't know whether this person likes you or hates you. And for a lot of people, they'd always assume the worst. So they'd always just be like, okay, well, this person is my friend, but at the same time, they're talking shit about me behind my back. Oh man, I don't know. Like, I want to be friends with them, and they keep talking shit behind my back. What should I do? I'm scared of what those people think of me. I want to always kiss them in the ass so I can be friends with them. So I can always have a good view in their eyes. It would be much easier if you knew whether this person was a clear friend or a clear foe. If you knew that this person was your enemy and they would always be talking shit, then yeah, okay. You'd accept it and be like, okay, this person is genuinely against me. Yeah, of course they're gonna talk shit. And I'm not gonna listen because there's genuinely people who want my downfall. I know it. I've genuinely determined that. There are people who want my downfall. Okay, I'm not gonna listen to them. Oh, those people who are my friends? Those people, they genuinely have my back in tough situations in life, and they don't just spend time around me just in the good times and then they just disappear when something mildly inconvenient happens to me. Oh, they're actually my friends? Cool, then I'm going to listen to them and I'm going to listen to what they have to say because they want what's best for me. And so, this is the way that we should all live our lives. In a polarized state where we know what's good and bad. Being at the middle is not a choice. Hope this video made some sense, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Good luck.